All right, let's bring in our guest. He won an NBA championship with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now he's an analyst with Turner Sports, one of the founders of Chosen Family Wine, and People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive in 2012. Channing Frye is here. What's happening, Channing?
You know what? I forgot about that. It's so long ago.
Did I get that wrong?
Those are the days. No, it was great. Those are the days. 2012. Really.
I'm being told I was Channing Tatum. You know, producer Joel, you're fired. That's just bad research.
We get confused a lot. I get it.
I believe it. Channing, we're almost a month into the NBA season, heading for a Wizards-Warriors finals. Is that surprising to you or something you predicted earlier?
You know what? And I'll say this. I think you look at them as a team. I think getting Andre Iguodala back helps them tremendously. I think their bench is better than what it was last year. I think you look and you would say, oh, man, like, can Steph get better? And he did. I didn't think he could. And now I'm just being honest. Like, I didn't think he could get better, and he's gotten almost exponentially better. I think the biggest thing for him was, is he going to consistently attack the rim, right? And I think he's been attacking the rim this year and last year better than he probably has his whole career. And I think I love Gary Payton Jr. off the bench. I think Draymond Green fits, and I'm excited to see. Everyone talks about Klay, but I think if you look at the West, Wiseman is that guy that's going to put them next. If he's 60%, right? You look, obviously, someone to guard Anthony Davis, someone to guard Jokic, someone to guard Aiden, someone to guard Nurkic. You know, you can go down the line. If you have a big man that is fluid within that system, that's dangerous.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Steph Curry, and now this weekend, it's going to be a famous picture of Steph went around, and it's basically him walking away from his shot, looking at the crowd. The ball is still in the air. Everybody else in the court staring at his shot. I mean, I don't know if I had that in my life, how big I would blow that up and what kind of wall. I guess it would just be the front of my house. That would be. But do you have a picture like that you're proud of? That like, oh my God, what a great moment.
You know what's crazy is when we won a championship, there's a picture that my buddy took or somebody took. My wife was pregnant with our child at the time, of me just hugging her. So she's pregnant, and it's like me and my two best friends, and all this commotion is happening, and I'm just giving her the biggest hug.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's great just because at the beginning of the year, I was in Orlando. We were the worst team in the NBA. And then I get traded in February. We go on that run, and then you go from the worst team to what I think is the greatest championship of all time, obviously. Yeah. It's just like, it encompasses all that, right? And so that picture reminded me of, like, you just got to keep grinding and good things will happen to you. So that's a great picture. I got it. It's somewhere around here. I got it. I always keep that close.
I love it.
It's in there. It's in that thing behind me somewhere.
You should make an NFT out of it. Who knows? Who knows how many hundreds of thousands you could fetch for that? You speak fondly of that 2016 NBA Finals. You took down the 73-9 Warriors. You guys were famously down 3-1. Draymond gets the flagrant foul. He's out, suspended for a game. That kickstarted you guys into a different gear. Was there something said in the locker room after the game when you're down 3-1 that stood out?
You know what? Everyone talks about the Draymond thing, right? And as players, yeah, that was important, right? But people forget that Andrew Bogut got hurt that series. People forget that Festus Ezeli got hurt that series. That was really the thing that changed us, because Andrew Bogut was blocking everything, right? It was almost, with his screens and his passing, they were like clicking. It was almost impossible for anybody to beat them. When they got hurt, their bench went from, let's say, 8 or 9 players to 6 or 7, right? They weren't playing Anderson Varejao. They were only playing, I think it was like Sean Livingston and maybe Andre Iguodala. That was the only 2 guys that were really playing. They weren't playing big. So we were playing 7-on-7, right? But we were more based on that. But down 3-1, we were looking at the film like, this is on us. Like, we're really messing up. Like, our coverages were, I would say, soft, or we weren't being physical with them. We were letting them run around. And I think we finally, after game 5, really got a grab on them and didn't let them run around as much. I think you look at us, our defensive intensity happened. we also switched our starting lineup. Remember, Kevin had concussed. So Richard Jefferson, we were switching 1 through 4 or 1 through 5, which we couldn't do the other series or the other games. So like us going small, really, that also kickstarted. So it's not just everyone, narrative is just Draymond, but there was 3 or 4 other things that happened that went in our way.
Yeah, for sure. And it seemed like you guys were having fun too. I'm not saying that nobody has fun anymore, but it was a different kind of. In your career, who was the most entertaining or funny guy you've sat next to on the bench?
The funniest guy of all time would be Kyle O'Quinn. I say this all the time. He plays now in Paris, and he's by far the funniest guy I've ever been around. Works hard, intense guy, but like, he'll just say something where you're just like, just belly laughing on the ground. He's a funny cat.
It's probably tough to be funny on the bench too, right? Because there's some guys, well, you'll never have the exact amount of everyone taking it the same level of seriousness, right? So you don't want to piss anybody off who's too serious, but you want to, cut up a little bit to maybe get the team going, right? It's not an easy thing to do.
There's different sections of the bench, right? And there's guys who just talk the whole game like me. I can't be in my own head, so I was just talking the whole time. So certain guys would have to sit next to me to be like, damn, I don't want to sit next to Channing. He won't shut the hell up. And then there are guys who are like super hardcore serious, and then they kind of sit a different way. But man, you play so many games and you do so many things, and the older you get, the more you're like, here they go running this play. And like, you got to have fun out there. It's a game. Like, Jesus, it's basketball, right? I mean, if you're that hard up and serious about it, and it's not the playoffs, then that's a little different. But regular season, man, stop all that.
Yeah, it's a long season. You gotta have a little fun. Lots of Knicks fans here in this Zoom. Take us through draft night 2005. You're the 8th pick overall. Did you know you were going to the Knicks? Were you hoping to go to the Knicks? Did the Dolans welcome you with open arms?
Yeah, everything was great, man. I think that's one of my things. Everyone's like, well, if you could change one thing about your career, for me, it definitely would have been being better. The Knicks being a really good team. I like a lot of the guys on the team. Jamal Crawford, Quentin Richardson, Nate Robinson, Malik Rose. All those guys are like stand-up guys. Obviously, I'm still friends with Isaiah Thomas to this day. I just wish we were better. But it was just like a mix of too much friction. Like on paper and like in theory, it like should have worked. But in reality, it just like did not mesh. But dude, I love being a Knick, man. I think that was an awesome gift given to me to be able to play for the Knicks and play in the Garden. Obviously, my family's from New York. They're big Knicks fans. I'm happy to see the Knicks doing well this year. I think the Knicks are going to be up and down this year. I think a lot of that depends on their shooting. I think a lot of it depends on Julius Randle. Unfortunately, that's a lot on his shoulders. But if he can take that next step, they're going to be really dangerous. I have them at least top 5 in the East. But yeah, draft night, I had a feeling I was going to go there. I thought, Toronto at 6. I think they picked Charlie Villanueva or 7. I thought I was going to go there. But if I got past them, then I knew for sure Isaiah was going to take me at 8. I really didn't do many workouts for a lot of players. And he knew I wasn't going to play center. I was going to be a small center, but more of a forward. And we had already talked about that. And, I liked his image of what I was going to be, and I ended up becoming that. But he was a little ahead of his time.
Yeah. You mentioned Nate Robinson. He went the same year, right? Or am I crazy?
Yeah, I went 8. Nate Robinson went maybe 24. And then I think David Lee went 30th.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's a fun trio.
It was a fun draft.
Yeah, great draft. Darren Williams, Andrew Bogut, Andrew Bynum, Ike Diagu went, from Arizona State.
Right.
Who else? Man, Charlie Villanueva, Chris Paul, Darren Williams. I already said that. Martell Webster.
You did all right. You're a top 3 name out of in that draft. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I like that. You mentioned the East and where you had the Knicks ranked. What do you think? I mean, a lot of this depends how the way the East shakes out depends on the 76ers. What do you do if you're Daryl Morey with Ben Simmons?
Trade him. Why? I don't even know why this is an issue. This is just like trade the guy. He doesn't want to be there. You don't. It's too. This is messy. You're wasting time. You're like, Joel Embiid is on the Eastern Conference. He's the most dominant center in the NBA.
Right.
You want to win a championship. Your spacing this year is great. When you have good spacing and your shooters are shooting, you're almost impossible to guard. Right? Tobias is having a career year. Steph Curry is balling out. Maxey is doing great in his role. Like, why all the distraction? Like, what is this? Is this better for your team? You can get a good piece. You just need a guard, a pick, and somebody to come out and like a culture guy.
Right.
Right? What is it? I don't understand like what the deal is. Like, why do you want to force this to work? You're trying to put a square thing in a round hole. It's just like, to me, if I'm a GM or an owner, if I'm establishing culture, first thing is, you don't want to be here? Thank you. I'm going to bring somebody in who wants to be here. Mm-hmm. You got to do that from day one. That way, your main guy knows the main thing is the main thing, right? We're here to win championships. We're not in this back and forth with a player and his agent about this and about, I have to make you do this or I'm going to find you that. Hey, listen, okay, we're going to get what we need to get out of you. You're not getting 3 picks anymore. You're not getting all this. Get a guard who can do multiple things, who can play on the ball and off the ball, and then get somebody who's a culture guy and be good. Your team is really good. Like, stop messing around. Like, it's a small window to win a championship and have to see, and you're already, 12 games into the season, and we're still talking about somebody who doesn't want to be there.
Right.
Like, I just, as a player, you're just like, enough is enough.
I guess the other side of that question is, if you're other GM, what do you want? Like, where is he a good fit, Ben Simmons?
Shit, stop it. What?
Well, I'm saying someone's got to trade for him, right? And when you say they should trade him, someone's got to.
If I'm somebody else, I'm waiting for Daryl Morey's ruining him. I'll give him 3, but wear some buttons. I'm going to give him a little Snorlax sticker and something else for him. Now, I'm just letting their team explode. I'm waiting until his stock keeps going down.
Gotcha.
Dude, Ben Simmons, people forget, the dude is 6'9". He's not even 20. What is he, 26? Mm-hmm. Right? He's defensive almost every year in the defensive first team, second team, whatever it is. The one bad series that he actually had, everyone's like, oh, that's him. That's not him. That's a bad series. Like, I've had a bad series.
All right. So you think this is just a Philadelphia thing? Like, he wants to be out and he'll go back to being the old Ben Simmons a year and a half.
Be here. Bye.
Yeah. All right.
Well, yeah, give me something for him, and then move on. This is just too much it's too much extra. You don't need all this extraness. Your team is good. Aren't they number 1 in the East right now?
Yeah.
We're still talking about Ben Simmons.
Why? Yeah, maybe, I don't know what you get. I mean, you give him a couple of cases of Chosen Family Wine. Tell us about Chosen Family Wine.
Listen. He gave one case.
Only one? Okay. One of your partners is former teammate Kevin Love. Between you guys and LeBron James, did your love of wine start with that team, or was it before that? How did this come about?
No. Orlando was probably, I would say, I love wine because I live in Oregon. Mm-hmm. Pinot Noir country, Chardonnay country. And so every summer I go back and go wine tasting. And it's just like one of my favorite things to do, because you don't have your phone, you're outside, you're talking to friends, you're learning, you're just enjoying each other's company genuinely. And then Orlando, we were not very good. So the wine was getting poured copiously. Mm-hmm. And then when I went to the Cavs, LeBron has long dinners, right? Like, infamous for as long as the dinners are. Right. And so wine just became a thing that was just, we would talk about it. Guys would order different things. And then it was like on a plane, you get done with practice at 1, you get on a plane, then you go to the city. So I'm like, well, if we're not doing anything the next day, I'm going to drink this right now and go to bed at like 8 or 9. So I brought a bottle of wine on the plane, watching film. And everyone's like, well, hey, why don't you bring enough for everybody? And I was like, there's 40 people on the plane. I'm not bringing a case of wine every time. Just a couple months later, there ended up being a case of wine on a plane. And so it just became a thing. It started off with kind of cheap wine, and it started progressing to where guys had lanes. Like Kevin was bringing, Napa Valley stuff. I was always bringing Oregon stuff. Bron was bringing Italians. Tristan was bringing what he wanted, even Korver. And so it just became something that was an extension of us. And then on those really good teams, the teams that went to a championship, we were around each other 16 hours a day, man. Like, it was wild how tight-knit. It was like early to practice, after practice, lunch in somebody's room or somewhere downstairs. Then it was dinner. It was just like our camaraderie was crazy.
And that's probably why you had the funniest bench in the league, right? You guys are all plastered on
Yeah,
that.
well, listen, when you whooping fools, you can be funny as you want. Listen,
Right.
We knew our bench was crazy. I mean, even a year with D Wade, our bench, we won 18 games in a row. Like, and they blew the team up, obviously, because it wasn't, Isaiah Thomas, Derrick Rose, D Wade, Brian, Jay Crowder. It was just too much. But even that team was like, oh, hey, LeBron's going to go sit down. Let's go put in D Wade, Korver, Channing, Jeff Green, and Shuck. I mean, that's a 41-win team right there. So,
right.
We had a lot of fun. We were really intense at practice, which was kind of shocking to me, because when we did practice, it was like letting the wolves out. And then coach would be like, all right, that's enough. Because we were like able to click it on, and dudes are so competitive. We kind of like were chomping at the bit to just go at people,
Yeah. Now, be honest. Did you come up with Taco Tuesday? I know LeBron gets all the credit, but maybe it was during this wine conversation.
Where did you hear this? Because I didn't come up with Taco Tuesday, but the thing, yes.
I stumbled on something here. What is it?
Yes, I did. I will say this, and he'll lie to his teeth and say no. But we were on the plane, and man, I'm from Arizona. So I grew up like tacos and burritos are eggs and bacon to me. Right. And so anytime on the plane, they'd be like, option, what do you want? Steak, burrito. Right? He's like, there goes Channing eating a burrito. And I'd be like, yep, because every day is Taco Tuesday, right? Like that. And the next thing you know, this guy with his billion followers takes the Taco Tuesday. I said, dang it. I should have trademarked that joint.
I don't think it's too late. I don't know. I see a great.
Listen, as much money as that guy has, I'm not dealing with his lawyers.
Yo, I see. I don't even know what wine goes best with tacos.
Oh, every wine. Stop
every
it.
Wine? Okay.
Every wine. Get you some Chosen. That goes great with tacos.
I love it. All right, Chosen Family Wine. You have a website address you want to give out?
Yeah, chosenfamilywines.com. We just released our Sonoma Coast Pinot, I think 2 weeks ago. And then in a week, we're releasing 2 new wines. We're pretty excited. We're a year in. Right now, we're almost 100% direct to consumer, which is good for us, but we're growing. So just stay along with us on Instagram, Chosen Family Wines. We're doing it different. We try to work with some of our favorite winemakers to make. Right now, we have 4 different winemakers making, I think, 8 or 9 different types of wine. And so it's just come on a journey with us. And I think it's always fun to make wine like not more approachable and not as, I would say, snooty as some people think it is. It's fun. It's something to put in the middle of your table and talk and enjoy each other's company. And that's the biggest reason why I got into wine was, wine is not divisive, right? It's like your opinion is just as valid as mine, whether you think it sucks or I love it. We're both right. And it's a good business to be in.
It certainly is. ChosenFamilyWines.com. Like you said, the holidays coming up. It's pandemic proof. Everyone's drinking wine all the time, whether it's on the bench or at home. Dude, Channing Frye, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
You check it out. This interview is on YouTube. You'll see he's as sexy as he was in 2012 when he won that award.
I don't have my glasses on, but thank you.
Thanks, Channing. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Channing.
Thanks, Channing.
Thanks, Channing.
Awesome.